Hi! This time I am going to talk about the confusion that exists between role-playing and acting. I was watching a video in Shonner's channel. I'm going to put the link in the description. He's basically criticizing these 7 tips on how to roleplay or something like that. This video where they are basically tips on how to act. They are acting tips and not very good, I would say. They are more focused on making your character memorable, but some of those things look a bit cheesy in my opinion. But well, if you want to check out Shonner's critique of that video, the link will be in the description of this video. So I started to think, where does this confusion come from? How can someone confuse acting with role-playing? You could say that acting is part of playing a role, but it's not the same thing. Otherwise, all actors would be role-playing, but they are acting. You need to be more precise in the definition. Role-playing is playing a role by describing your character's actions. I think this confusion originates from the low effort that some people put when it comes to trying to play a role-playing game. It has to do with asking questions a lot. It's not a good idea, as many of you know, and you can check out my other videos in the RPG tips playlist that I'm going to put in the description of this video. You shouldn't be asking the game master question. The game master, the dungeon master, he or she does not exist in the game world. You're going to be learning about the world through your interactions with the game world, and perhaps by talking with non-player characters. If you want to know something, ask one of the non-player characters. Or, like I said, interact with the game world. Asking questions to the game master provides no advantage whatsoever. It destroys immersion. There is not a single good reason for you to ask questions directly to the game master. And of course, you need to be familiar with the core mechanic of the game. Many D20 based systems, it's very easy. Roll a D20, you try to beat a certain number, and then if it's battle, you roll a certain die for damage, that's it. With that core mechanic, you can do anything. And in most cases, the game master is going to tell you what you need to roll. Oh, I want to attempt this, or my character wants to do this. And the game master is going to tell you, okay, make a dexterity check, or make a knowledge arcana check, or whatever. And that's it. Now I'm going to give you an example on how asking questions kills the immersion. Imagine that you are playing as a ninja in a modern fantasy setting. And there is this mansion that you need to get into. Perhaps you need to assassinate someone, or you need to steal some documents, or whatever. Someone that is not role-playing is going to be like, is there a way to enter the mansion? And the game master is like, yes, there is the front door and the back door, and there are some windows that you can use to climb into the mansion, to get into the mansion. That's very lame. That's not role-playing. That's having a conversation, asking questions. Mother, may I? Now, if you were a true role-player, I approach the mansion stealthily. I start to walk around it as silently as possible, trying to spot the different entrances into the mansion. The game master is going to tell you, of course you have the front door, there is the back door, and the windows are a bit above a comfortable level when it comes to reaching them, but because of your skills, it is very easy for you to attempt one of your ninja tricks to get to that window. So it could be anything like that. And you could say that you could even enhance the description better. Maybe the game master could tell you how the ninja moves through this beautiful, carefully tended garden. Or maybe as the ninja is making his way towards the mansion or around the mansion looking for entrances, he spots some other details. Maybe there are animal droppings in the garden. Maybe there are indications that there is some sort of a guard animal that the ninja has not spotted. It all depends on the situation. Maybe the ninja needs to make a perception roll of sorts. So it's all about that. There is not a single advantage when it comes to asking questions to the game master directly, because it breaks the immersion. Everything can be discovered or grasped by interacting with the game world. You want to know something about a non-player character? Ask that non-player character. Ask some other non-player character that knows that non-player character. If you want to, like I said, look for an entrance, for an object, interact with the game world. Maybe the ninja made it into the house. So now I am walking down the corridor and I'm going to enter the first room that I see. And then the ninja enters, and this is a simple study. There is a desk, a couple of chairs, and there is a small bookshelf. And then the ninja that is looking for the files or something of importance, I approach the desk and I open the drawer. And there you go. Or I start to look through the books. And you make the relevant rolls, the relevant checks. So that is roleplay. The reason why there is so much confusion between roleplay and acting is because those low effort players don't want people to realize that they are not playing a role-playing game. They are having a mother may I conversation. And of course, those that want to sell their role-playing games, the most popular role-playing games, are also not going to point this out because they know there are a lot of people that don't put enough effort in this hobby, in this wonderful activity. The more effort you put into something, the greater the rewards. So if you start to tell people to use their imagination, to actually get into character, to immerse themselves, a lot of people are going to be like, oh, I'm so lazy, that is too hard, and they are not going to sell their games. So therefore, they won't rock the boat. They won't tell people that that is the way that they are attempting to play role-playing games. There is another martial arts connection. You know how I connected the McDojo effect to role-playing games in my other video. The link to that will be in the description. In the 70s and 80s, there was this martial arts boom. And you could say a bit before that, perhaps a bit after that, but you have different martial artists that wanted to communicate to people more things about martial arts, things that were, yes, no, not popular knowledge, because it ruined the business practices of mediocre people. So suddenly you had people that say, oh, boxing is the best, or karate is the best, or taekwondo, and suddenly these people started to appear until they told you, you can mix all of those martial arts together. What we know as mixed martial arts, that I personally consider superior. Why? Because they take the styles, the methods, the moves, the techniques, the strikes, the kicks, the grappling maneuvers, everything from all of the other martial arts. So you have a lethal composite, an excellent repertoire. In the movie Dragon, the story of Bruce Lee, that was the title, I think. You know that there is a lot of fantasy in that movie. In fact, if you take a look at Bruce Lee's real life, you will see that he wasn't exactly so virtuous as he's painted in the film. He actually went here to America because he had trouble with the gangs and police back there in Asia. So you can see that Bruce Lee, there are many things about him. He's also a plagiarist. Look for Bruce Lee plagiarism, and you can see that he took many things from different philosophers and he never credited them. So there are a lot of lackluster things about Bruce Lee, but he definitely was a decent fighter, I would say. Some would consider him a really good fighter. But in that movie, there is this perfect representation when Bruce Lee is standing in this auditorium and he's basically telling everyone that the way that they have been practicing martial arts, it's wrong. They have been doing things wrong. And of course, they are not going to like it. But because it's martial arts, it's very easy to prove them wrong. Like in the movie Bruce Lee, that actually didn't happen, although there were some challenges against Bruce Lee, some minor sparring moments, you could say. He actually hurt one of the stunt actors that wanted to prove that he was better than Bruce Lee, and Bruce Lee put him in the hospital. But Bruce Lee was obviously considerably kind because he actually paid the hospital bill. So in martial arts, if someone tells you that prove it, it's very easy to prove it. But there are going to be consequences, but it's very easy to prove it. And in role-playing games, it's not as easy because you need the person to put some effort to actually roleplay and then rejoice in the benefits of actually playing a role-playing way. Role-playing way, sorry. The role-playing game the right way. According to me, of course, you can think whatever you like. You could think, oh, this guy is talking crap. He doesn't know how to roleplay. I want to ask questions to the game master, and what do you do? Go for it. I'm just, like I said, providing information to you to see if it's useful. In the case, like I said, in Bruce Lee, he had several instances to prove his point. Some consider him to be one of the proponents of mixed martial arts, at least here in the West. So the same thing happens with role-playing games. Just like Bruce Lee got a lot of people angry by telling them that they're fixed positions and antiquated techniques, you could say. I would rather say wrongfully applied techniques, because that's knowledge that has been passed down in an incorrect way. But the same thing happens with role-playing games. By any of us, and if you tell this to any so-called role player, they are going to feel frustrated because they realize that they haven't been playing role-playing games at all. They have been playing something else. They have been having a mother may I conversation. And so they have two options. They either accept that there is an error there, or they say, no, I am right, you are wrong, la la la, I don't want to hear. So yes, there's a lot of immaturity in that regard. Well, I hope this video was informative and entertaining. Definitely, if you, and remember, perhaps there are some people that have been taught how to play role-playing games the wrong way. Try it without asking questions to the game master. Describe your actions. Really get into the game world. Interact with the environment, with the objects. Roleplay, and you will see that it provides greater benefits. It's more fulfilling. It's more fun. It's an experience like no other. You almost feel like your conscience gets into the conscience, your fictional consciousness of the character, or the awareness rather. So there's nothing like it. And that's why some people play role-playing games very boring and sometimes making jokes to stay awake, fooling around, because they have no idea. And then you have role players that they cannot wait to play a role-playing game again because they feel that immersion, that exquisite immersion. Thank you for watching this video. I would like to hear your comments about this. Have you tried to explain this to other people? Did you get a positive response? Any questions or comments, please let me know in the comment section. And thank you so much to those of you that are going the extra mile to support the channel. If anyone else wishes to further support the channel, the information on how to do that will be in the description below. Once again, thank you, and see you later.